Good, happy Thursday morning, February 14, 2019. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, crews battle massive fire at the Rocks Estate in Bethlehem. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9, Charisse LeClaire.
If you're seeing this ad, that means you can get home heating oil for the lowest price available in your area. From Rhymes Propane and Oil. Reliable service and the lowest oil prices guaranteed. Rhymes, serving your energy needs for over 40 years. Learn more at rhymes.com.
A pile of smoldering debris, only the giant chimney stack still standing of the historic Tool Building, a massive loss for the Society for the Protection of New Hampshire Forests, operationally and personally.
In fact, it's the main building that we use as our offices, and there's a multi-purpose room that's used as a classroom, a seasonal gift shop. It houses social events, other kinds of meetings, and so it's our primary operating center.
The Society has owned the property since 1979 and doesn't yet know the full extent of the loss here, but it's clear from viewer video that fire quickly chewed through the Tool Building, built in 1906.
I've been here 50 years, on the fire department 50 years, and spent a lot of time up here, different projects and everything, and it's really heartbreaking to see it go down. Especially like this.
Chief Jack Anderson says his department was called around 6 tonight for reports of the fire off Route 302. By the time they arrived, flames were already engulfing the century-old structure, devouring 2 other buildings as well, a gift shop and a garage with cars inside. But they did manage to save the property manager's home, which was just steps away from the flames. For witness Kayla Brooks, like to so many in this community, the loss is personal.
It's a huge part of this town, this community, historic building. And myself, I actually used to live on the property. There's a house that's around the corner, far away from the fire, but absolutely a close connection for me.
And as you take a look up there, you can see the smoke and flames continue at this hour. It will be a long night for firefighters as they keep an eye on those flames throughout the evening. As we mentioned, a personal loss. One woman writing to us on Facebook, this was set to be her wedding venue this coming fall. No one knows the cause just yet. That's still under investigation. Live in Bethlehem tonight, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man sentenced to prison for selling fatal dose of drugs. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cherry.
If you're seeing this ad, that means you can get home heating oil for the lowest price available in your area. From Rhymes Propane and Oil. Reliable service and the lowest oil prices guaranteed. Rhymes, serving your energy needs for over 40 years. Learn more at rhymes.com.
One after another, family members of Nick Wells made their way in front of a judge.
When Nick was born, I remember the look on his face.
Tears running down their faces, Wells' relatives remember the 25-year-old from Pelham who overdosed on fentanyl that he bought from William Luna. The 45-year-old father of 2 has a history of drug offenses with 3 convictions. Today, a judge sentencing him to 12 to 24 years for possession and intent to distribute.
I hope you understand the guilt I feel every day, knowing the amount of pain I have inflicted upon your life and your family.
Wells died on the steps of his family's home in the summer of 2017. His sister tried to save his life with CPR. Today, she attempted to comfort another family grieving in the courtroom, Luna's.
I just don't know why. I feel bad, you know, because it's like we're taking their family away, but I know that they can go and they can hug them, they can kiss them, they can say, hey, how you doing? But we're never going to be able to do it again.
He spent the last year and a half behind bars, and in that time, prison officials say Luna served as a mentor for at-risk youth and young inmates. In a way, it's a step toward closure for Nick's family.
In a way, though, Nick saved William Luna. Saved him so that today he's alive. Saved him so today another family isn't making funeral arrangements.
And Luna will begin his sentence immediately, but could be eligible for parole 5 years from now. Mike Cherry, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Granite Staters dig out from heavy, wet snow. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer and Andy Hirschberger.
You can get home heating oil for the lowest price available in your area from Rhymes Propane and Oil. Reliable service and the lowest oil prices guaranteed. Rhymes, serving your energy needs for over 40 years. Learn more at rhymes.com.
A busy start to the day just south of the White Mountains. While crews in Moultonborough worked the traditional way, people in Meredith went with a unique approach, using not one but two snowblowers on the roof of a local restaurant. In Silver Lake, plows worked to clear the parking lots where drivers found manageable conditions.
It hasn't been bad, but there's some ice under it in places, so that'll catch you up if you're not careful.
Meanwhile, a former Texan was shoveling out his third New Hampshire winter.
And we're hoping for something a little bit of a change from the Texas heat and humidity. And this is it.
Others found the fun snow day activities, quiet ice fishing on Chocorua Lake, or taking a break from school for a day of thrills.
On our way to King Pine, skiing, getting the fresh powder. Yep, someone's playing hooky.
We won't tell anybody.
Oh, sorry guys.
In the Madison and Conway areas, signs warned it's not the time to venture too far down back roads, but if you happen to live there, it can be a bit of a pain.
Today I attempted to get to work.
Susan Bush was stuck trying to get into her driveway.
And I attempted to just bomb through and bomb in, and I couldn't bomb in.
But with a little determination, Susan hit the gas and made it home.
You did it! You did it!
I did it! Have a great day. Enjoy the snow.
Now, one of the best parts about that is Susan told us her husband is a plow driver, but he was busy working all day, so he couldn't take care of their driveway. Hopefully, it's looking a little better now. Live in Meredith, Jessica Moran, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Hickenlooper meets with New Hampshire voters as he considers White House bid. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Adam Sexton.
Instead of shoveling snow this season, get your own Kubota BX tractor with your choice of snow removal.
Former Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper won elections in 2010 and 2014, two of the worst years for Democrats in recent political history. Now he's taking his Western purple state style on the road, meeting and greeting Granite State voters at a house party in Manchester as he considers a bid for the White House. How soon will you know whether or not you're running for president?
I am determined to we've been working on this and talking to people, my wife and I, discussing it. I'm determined to make sure, in the next month, or let's say 6 weeks.
Leading Colorado for the last 8 years, Hickenlooper oversaw the rollout of that state's legalization of marijuana, a move he initially opposed.
There were just all these fears. No one had ever done it before. We were going to be in conflict with the federal government. But now we're about 5 years into it, and those fears haven't happened. We haven't seen a spike in teenage consumption.
When it comes to taking on President Donald Trump, Hickenlooper says he knows how to handle, in his words, a bully.
You got a name like Hickenlooper and you're a skinny kid with thick glasses, you learn how to deal with bullies. And you don't punch them back. You kind of repeat what they say, but you twist it a little bit so that the other kids on the playground kind of laugh, and the bully doesn't know whether they're laughing at me or laughing at the bully. I think that's, he hasn't done anything.
In Manchester, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
And you can see Adam's full interview with John Hickenlooper this weekend on Close Up. That's Sunday morning at 10 right here on WMUR.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. EPA to unveil national drinking water standards today. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Gene Mackin.
If you're seeing this ad, that means you can get home heating oil for the lowest price available in your area. From Rhymes Propane and Oil. Reliable service and the lowest oil prices guaranteed. Rhymes, serving your energy needs for over 40 years. Learn more at rhymes.com.
We do consider it to be a very important threat, and that's why we're moving quickly on this.
In an exclusive interview with ABC News, Acting EPA Administrator Andrew Wheeler says for the first time, new regulations will be set for certain toxic chemicals found in drinking water.
We know where the chemicals were manufactured, and we know a lot of the areas where they were actually used. So we're going into those communities to see whether or not the water in those communities are contaminated.
The toxins, known as PFAS, are under the microscope, used to make non-stick pans, stain-resistant carpet, found in firefighting foam, and now in drinking water near New Hampshire military bases and factories. They are linked to medical issues, including cancers, asthma, and thyroid disease.
We're rolling out this action plan to clean up the facilities around the country, but we also want to make sure that people know that we already have been cleaning up a number of these.
Under the Safe Drinking Water Act, the EPA plans to test drinking water systems around the country for chemicals at lower levels than previously tested, set new limits for chemicals allowed in drinking water, and conduct more research. Environmental advocates say more needs to be done without delay to prevent toxins from being released into the environment and to ban products using them. New Hampshire already proposed its own drinking water standards and plans to hold public hearings in March before setting acceptable levels. While the EPA starts to roll out its national drinking water plan tomorrow, New Hampshire is scheduled to have its final proposal for state standards filed by this summer.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Futures move higher on U.S.-China trade optimism. U.S. stocks index futures were higher Thursday morning with market participants monitoring U.S.-China trade talks. Judge Trump's former campaign chairman lied to special counsel team. This is the latest turn in Manafort's legal saga with the special counsel. A federal judge on Wednesday accepted the argument by federal prosecutors that Paul Manafort continued to lie to special counsel Robert Mueller's team after signing a plea agreement, a ruling that means the one-time Trump campaign chairman could face a more severe prison term when he is sentenced in his Washington, D.C. case next month. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.